What's up, ladies and gents? You guys have been asking me so long how we make our homemade dough, and today I'm going to show you guys step for step. So stay tuned, it's going to be lekker, and I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. Okay, so first thing you're going to need is some cake wheat flour. You can use any brand. This one's from Woolworths. It doesn't matter, Snowflake, whatever you choose is lekker. Then I'm going to use some almond essence. I actually do prefer the Moya's brand. It's a very lekker one. This one's just caramel. We've run out of almond when it comes to this one. But yeah, we're going to use Robertson's and it should just do fine. So yeah, then we're going to start boiling some water in the kettle, and we're going to use about a teaspoon of sugar just for this mix. All right, let's get the measurements down, get straight to it. Just like that, our kettle is finished boiling.
We're not going to take a lot, just a teeny tiny little bit of boiling water, right about there. Nothing more than that.
The reason for this is you're going to use about a teaspoon of sugar.
Take a little teaspoon, shake off the excess. You don't want too much. Drop it in there and let it dissolve. We're just going to stir it up and get that sugar to dissolve in this little bit of water. There you go. Sugar gone. Made a little bit of a mess there. Just give it a wipe. There we go.
So now that you've got your sugar dissolved in a little bit of water, you can see I use brown sugar. You can use any kind of sugar, white sugar, brown sugar, doesn't matter. Should be more than fine. We're going to take our cake wheat flour and then just pour it into the mug to see how much we're going to use. So I'm going to start up with like half a cup. I'm definitely messing a bit. Nothing too crazy. Just a half a cup of flour. Then what we do is drop it in. For that half a cup, we're going to measure up a little bit of water, let's say about a quarter. You're going to use your fork to basically mix the water and the dough. That's the whole idea of this thing. You can see there is the cake wheat flour. We're quickly going to add some water to it and then just add it slowly. And then you can start mixing it in nicely. Okay, so for the water, you don't want to use too much. You want to go to right about there on your mug, so a little bit brew. Rather pour it in as you go instead of just chucking it all in one shot there. And then at the end of the day, your dough should just mix nicely. Now I'm going to pour a bit more flour because I chucked in too much water. So that's just the one thing we need to be careful for here. Okay, and then you can add some almond essence. So this actually preserves the dough. If you're going to go fishing tomorrow, you just make this, mix it up, and then at the end of the day, put it in the fridge, go fish with it tomorrow. If you want to freeze it, you can also make this today, freeze it, and there you go. But then if you take it out the freezer, you cannot put it back in. Okay, so that's very important. So once you've used it then in that case. Otherwise, chuck a little bit of almond essence in there. You could have mixed this earlier in, but yeah, we're not going to take too much. Just going to drop it in like that. You can see I barely used anything. So this is just to preserve the dough. It does smell very nice. And yeah, you can use any brand, Robertson or Moyers, whatever. So you can see I used a fork. The reason for this is I don't want the dough to stick to my hands just yet.
This is what I've got at the moment. You can see got enough flour there. Don't want it to stick to your hands. An important part is to roll it. For now, we're just going to get messy with it. Grab that flour, it's sitting in the corners there. Here we go. Now all you want to do is you want to mix your dough nicely in this flour. You don't want there to be too much flour, because if there's too much flour, it's not going to be a nice consistency. Alright, now I'm just going to knead it a little bit. You can feel it's still sticking to my hands. Back into the flour. I can smell that almond essence coming through now nicely. Here we go. Now you can see no longer sticking to my hands. The most important thing when making this dough is to roll it. You got to roll the dough, and that just helps with the firmness of it.
Okay, lekker. Here you can see the size of that dough ball we got, and this was due to me not having the measurements right. So I'm going to give you guys the exact measurements to get, let's say, about a half of this. Okay, and then you've got a lekker piece of dough that you can fish with. Let's get it in the packet. It's no longer sticking, as you folks can see, which is great. Remember to give it a very nice roll. You just want to roll your dough. Lekker brew. I know a lot of you folks asked about the consistency, etc, and how smooth it is. Check this out, dude. It is as smooth as can be. So yeah, very nice piece of dough. Let's get our packets and get the dough ready. Some little Ziploc sackies, and you're going to open them beforehand and then just pop them open. There we go. Very important thing with this is to make sure you wash your hands before making the dough. It's very important. There we go. And here you can see I've got a lekker small ball that we're just going to roll up a bit, and we're just going to drop it into this little packet. In she goes. Lekker, brew. One piece ready to go. That's then how you make this amazing homemade dough. So anyone can make it, brew, and you can add flavors to it if you'd like. And yeah, good luck with the fishing, Oaks. I think it's going to be lovely. I can't wait to see you guys using this dough. Please tag me if you do make it, and if you do use it, I'd love to see how it comes out. You actually don't want to make your balls of dough too big in your packets, because once it gets warm, it gets like very sticky in a sense. So you want to keep it nice and cold in a cooler, and yeah, that just helps, you know, throughout the day, keep your dough fresh, and yeah, keep it nice and firm to roll onto those hooks. 6 packets of dough ready to go. Gonna put them in the packets, and yeah, then your end result looks like this. So if you follow these steps and you do it correctly, you will end up with about 6 to 8 pieces of this homemade dough. Once again, teaspoon of sugar, teaspoon of almond essence, half a cup of flour, and a very teeny tiny little bit of water. And then to end it all off, you are going to vacuum these as best you can. Just press out as much of the air as you possibly can, and then get it into the fridge if you're fishing tomorrow, into the freezer if you're only going to fish in like a few days. So yeah, enjoy, Oaks. I hope you enjoyed this episode of how to make our homemade dough.